20, welcome back. A growing number of American workers say they are experiencing discrimination in the workplace.
It's not because of their skin color or sexual orientation. Instead, they say it's because of their age. Sandra joins us now with the story. Good morning.
And more workers are finding they have to work longer since it seems retirement is out of reach with this economy. But what older workers say is that they're experiencing a tough road in the workplace.
On your back, they're pushing the older managers out.
At 56 years old, Archie Taylor says he felt his workplace was taking a turn. For more than 30 years, he worked hard to establish a successful career in insurance, climbing up the ladder at his company, rising to district sales manager and always meeting expectations. But then he noticed a shift in the company.
The elimination of some of my peers being forced out, retiring early, and it became a pattern. And I was one of the last older working employees in my field at the time. When I was understaffed, they continued to raise my goal and expect me to still achieve them. If you raise the goal so high and you don't have the staff to achieve the goal, it's impossible.
Eventually, his bosses basically forced him out.
They set me up for failure, exactly what they did. There was emotional impact. I come home to tell my wife I don't have a job. I took my job. It was humiliating. I was somewhat embarrassed. I felt betrayed.
Age discrimination at work is against the law, but at times it may be tough to prove in court. The nonprofit group Working Nation is trying to help older workers be aware of what to watch for.
There's a lot of responsibility put on employers when it comes to upskilling and the betterment of your employee base. But what we say is the worker has their responsibility as well. Understanding how the job is changing and recognizing the value of the people that you're working alongside. There's stereotypes about every generation currently, and we all know what they are. At Working Nation, we like to say that we hope that the stereotype for every one of these 5 generations is that we're lifelong learners. I think for older workers, for them to embrace the fact that they have been lifelong learners, that they have learned along the way as technology has been adopted. There's a lot of workers out there that think that they're not and are scared of technology as it advances. There's data that shows that 90% of jobs in the future are going to have some type of technology. 50% of the folks in the workforce that are Hispanic have lacking digital literacy. That's the way that the Hispanic Federation has talked about it. So, you know, it's about getting ahead of it.
A study by the AARP shows 2 out of 3 workers between 45 and 74 years old say they've experienced age discrimination. And by 35 years old, workers find age as an obstacle for being hired. Many workers say hearing negative comments about a person's age is the most common type of discrimination they've encountered, and it hits women harder than men. But advocates say it's important for employers to understand experience cannot be replaced in an effort to perhaps cut the bottom line.
AARP has done a lot of research and shown that multi-generational workforce actually work better. So the skills that the older workforce has and the skills that, let's say, Gen Y have, when we bring them together, they actually make for a much stronger workforce.
For Archie, he took his battle to court and won. And he's still working in a different field today altogether, working as his own boss in real estate, refusing to let anyone take his right away to make a living for himself.
Fight for your rights. Ageism is state and federal law if you're discriminated against based on your age.
And the best advice for an aging workforce is to make sure to stay up to date with technology and new skills. You can ask for reskilling in terms of training from your company. As for employers, remember there is value in experience and reliability. So for more resources, you can learn more about all of this at the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission or the AARP. It's something we don't really think about, right? But it's so important to make sure you know what the rules are, you know what your rights are, and to be viable in the workplace is something at any age. Anyone can contribute, right? Because a multi-generational workforce is key.
Well, you have different experiences and different perspectives, so you bring that to the table. But it also
learning how to be your own advocate too.
Yeah, well, that for everyone, right? That's an important thing. But it's funny to me that when you first get into the workforce, you feel like you're younger and you're trying to prove yourself and you want to appear older. In any industry, it doesn't even have to be for television. You want to have that experience. And then the reverse happens, where all of a sudden now you want to go the other way.
Right, and you feel like you're getting replaced by the younger,
and you're not relevant.
Cheaper,
Right,
workforce.
It's like there's never a happy medium. Right, such is life.
Yeah, it's true. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Sandra.